2000s and past the N4, so it's tough to finish in the top 10 these days.
Back to the action on the stages. It was time to tackle stages 6 and 7 of the Osram Rally, which were repeats of stages 2 and 3. Jullingnes Kloof and Vaarhoek would add another 36 kilometers of special stage distance before the teams could return to Berkeley East. A problem in stage 6 would therefore also cost time in stage 7 before the service crews could attend to the cars back in service. Nicholas Ryan and Andre Vermeulen and the Philips Toyota Runnix were not in contention following punctures and a serious misfire on day 1, but he drove consistent and safely on day 2, just outside of the top 10 while getting his confidence back. Fernando Rueda and Dave Lefkowitz were having a real quiet rally relative to their standards, and the Team Total Evolution Mitsubishi Lancer, the former production car champion, eventually managed to claw his way into the top 10 after these 2 stages. It was going much better inside the Williams Polo on day 2, with John setting very competitive stage times and finding his rhythm on roads that he's never driven on before. The Polo's misfire was gone, but they hit a little trouble towards the end of stage 7.
Yeah, it was about a couple of k's from the end, so I got a bit hairy through the left corners there, but we just didn't want to give up, so we kept going. So I don't think we lost too much time.
This required some roadside repairs. Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe were on course for their first ever production car victory. Latergan extended his 10-second lead over Wilken by another 8 seconds in stage 6, but this lead shrunk to just 8 seconds after stage 7. Latergan became the second driver to do some roadside repairs, but the Subaru was soon back on track and heading back to service. Visser Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman were chasing hard in their Pertex Subaru. Remember, the title chase for production car honours is between Visser Du Plessis and Wilken, and for Du Plessis to successfully defend his title, he had to finish in front of Wilken. This wasn't to be, as the Pretoria businessman fell prey to one of the many crocodiles on the side of the road.
900 meters from the end, this third last stage. We still didn't go off the road, so I didn't make a mistake, but right on the edge, there was a boulder the size of 3 soccer balls in the gravel, and I went wide to take a left 6. And didn't even see it. Just heard a big noise, windscreen shattered.
With Du Plessis out of the equation, Wilken and Godrich could probably afford to relax while stretching their production car points lead in a Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru. But with only stages 8 and 9 to go, Wilken was just 8 seconds behind the production car lead held by Latergan. It must have been very tempting.
Quite close, so we'll see if we're going to push or not the last 2.
Habig and Judd were driving safely and occupying 6th position in the BP Ultimate Polo, but with teammate and championship leader Ficken fighting it out with the leaders, the champions must have started to see the chances of another title slipping away. JP Damser and Kobus Frey have had no luck whatsoever this year, but instead of wondering if it was going to run out on this event too, he blasted through stages 6 and even collected a stage win on stage 7 in the process.
Yeah, but I think Enzo will be quick in this one. We had a good stage there.
Their Team Total Evolution Runnix was in a tight battle with a BP Ultimate Polo of Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson for 4th. Keen drove hard on these 2 stages to finish a mere 2 seconds ahead of the chasing Damser.
He's definitely taking time out of us. We're on the limit. We can't go fast. So it could only be driving well.
But what could Ficken and Harries do about the leading Toyotas? For once, the flying Ficken did not have an answer. He set the fastest time in stage 6, but Cronje was only a single second slower. In stage 7, the Castrol orders of Cronje and Paesi took that second back again, maintaining the gap between them at a steady 17 seconds. So Ficken and Cronje were chasing hard, but surely Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh had enough speed in the Castrol Toyota Runnix to maintain their lead. Well, they did, but the Runnix decided to put the brakes on, literally. And with no chance to fix it in service, the pair had to endure the same punishment in stage 7 as well. In total, around a minute, and the lead was lost, dropping the early rally leader from 1st into a tie for 3rd with Keen.
Yeah, we got no brakes.
No brakes, Don.
Yeah. Is it? It just fell off.
His hopes of winning seem to have been shattered together with a brake caliper. For the first time in nearly 2 cold and windy days in the town of Berkeley East, the Osram Rally had a new leader in the form of Mark Cronje behind the wheel of the new Castrol Toyota Auris. Ficken was now in 2nd, ahead of the unlucky Gemmel and Keen, who both had 49 seconds to make up. Later gaan we. We are halfway through day 2 of the Osram Rally with stages 5, 6 and 7 completed. They were repeats of stages 1, 2 and 3 from yesterday, and the crews now move on to Virgin Rally roads with stages 8 and 9. And those 2 stages are the only 2 things in the world standing between Mark Cronier and Toyota and their 2nd consecutive victory. And that will be a debut victory for the Auris if they can do it.
Yeah, look, it's ain't over till the Fat Lady sung, so we'll keep it nice and neat and tidy and see what it brings us.
Can Fecken and Aries make up 18 seconds over just 2 stages?
We can do it if we risk everything, but I don't think it's worth risking everything. So we'll just go at a comfortable pace and see, you know, maybe Mark makes a mistake because he's got to push to stay ahead of us as well.
What a drive from Gemmell so far, but luck was not his friend today.
These things can happen, to anyone. The stone got lodged in between the disc and the caliper and caused one or the other to break, and no brakes at the back.
The 30 kilometers at Bokspreit would also be a fast affair with lots of blind crests just waiting in the road. After Bokspreit, the crews would head straight out to Bottleneck with no service in between. Perhaps a short 37 kilometers if you combine the 2 stages, but a long 37 kilometers between whoever and the title of Osram King of the Mountains. After totally rebuilding the Philips Toyota Ranix and escaping serious injury following last month's horrific accident, Nicholas Ryan with experienced navigator Andre Vermeulen drove steadily to claw their way back into the top 10. It was a good result under the circumstances. Fernando Rueda and Dave Lefkowitz were probably not satisfied with 9th overall, but the Spaniard and his team Total Evolution Mitsubishi nevertheless survived the tough challenge of the Osram Rally to end 3rd in this production category. John and Doug Williams once again did extremely well to bring the Williams Polo home in 7th, and that at their first attempt at the Osram Rally against much more experienced opposition. Williams is one to watch over the next few years. Defending champions Jan Habig and Douglas Judd had a quiet event according to their standards and brought the BP Ultimate Polo home in 5th overall. We were now getting into the business end of the Osram Rally with the top 4 positions still to be decided. JP Damson and Cobus Frey were very much part of the action in their team Total Evolution Runnings, but the unlucky Cape Townian wisely decided not to get involved in the war to score a fine 4th overall. Mark Cronier and Robert Paisley started the second last stage with an 18-second lead over Fecken, with the latter still having hopes of catching the Toyota and stealing the win from the Auris on its debut event.
Continues over crest into a right foot. We went straight over the crest. But it said right 5 over crest. No, it said right 5 over crest.
For Toyota and Cronier, it was a sad end to a perfect weekend, but encouraging to know that the Auris had rally-winning pace straight out of the box.
We were obviously, once we'd taken off, we were going off the road, so we basically jumped. The road veered left and we jumped off the road, so that's what happened, and came over.
With Cronier removed from the action, the battle was between Fecken, Gemmell and Keen for overall honours. Fecken and Aries went into stage 8 with a comfortable lead over their main rivals, but his time of 15 minutes and 28 seconds was way off the pace. Keen and Hodgson were suddenly in contention and used every bit of their experience to race through the tricky stage in their quest to close the gap. The BP Ultimate Polo recorded a great time of just 15 minutes and 2 seconds, a full 26 seconds faster than teammate Fecken. The gap between the 2 teammates was now only 5 seconds. The hopes of Castrol Toyota fans were yet again firmly on the shoulders of Johnny Gemmell and Peter Marsh, and they did not disappoint. The former rally leader and early pace setter dug deep to record yet another stage win. His time was another 8 seconds faster than the one set by Keen, and Gemmell was back in the lead again. The awesome battle in S2000 was about to reach a climax with only 1 stage to go, but behind them, the rest of the remaining drivers were still having their own battles against each other and the mountains. The Rally Chicks, sisters Lola and Megan Verlaak, managed to bring their team Total Evolution Mitsubishi Lancer home in a very respectable 14th overall, showing that they have what it takes to survive the challenge of the daunting Osram Rally. The Stassen brothers had a weekend that tested their characters to the limits. They lost nearly 20 minutes in the first few stages, but didn't give up and finished in a disappointing 26th overall. Richard and Natasha Vaughan's weekend in their Kulungile Metals Group Mitsubishi Lancer went very sour on the last stage of the event. The Lancer's engine simply cut out, but thanks to some clever roadside repairs, the husband and wife managed to reach the finish in spite of losing nearly 50 minutes in stage 9. In Class A7, the Mountains won the battle against almost every team except the Team Total Evolution Runix of Chris de Wit and Dean Redlinghuis. De Wit was mostly unchallenged throughout the event and drove a safe and sensible rally not only to claim another Class A7 victory, but to become the first national rally class champion of the year.
Yes, and we're very happy. Our position demised themselves a bit, so we had an easy class win and wrapped it up for the season.
Evan Hutchison and Greg Gericke were having their best ever outing in the Motorrad Toyota Runix until a fuel pressure regulator brought an end to their challenge in stage 7. This left Michael Otto and Armand de Toy as the only other Class A7 survivors in their Barloworld Toyota Corolla, but they finished way off the pace courtesy of their earlier troubles. Stefan Wilken and Llewellyn Fourie were the Class A6 pace setters all weekend long until the alternator on the Panhard Seeds VW Polo cried enough during stage 6. It was a bitter blow for the youngster who is getting quicker and quicker with every event. Wilkins' demise opened the door for the experience of Craig Trott and Tony Ball to claim yet another class win in their Team Total Evolution Runix. Trott now has a commanding class lead in this class, and only bad luck can prevent him from claiming another class championship to go with an already long list. Mohamed Musa and Grant Martin had their fair share of difficulties with the new Total Evolution Class A6 Toyota Auris. Musa lost loads of time early on with teething problems, with good pace on the later stages their only consolation. But there is no doubt that the Musa and new Auris combination will win lots of rallies in the near future. The Osram was also cruel to early Class A5 leaders Chart Conradi and Tian Rabe and their Techwood Taz. Conradi was having a great drive until a broken crank pulley halted their progress in stage 7. This opened the door for the Sassel Toyota Yaris of Dave Compton and Derek Jacobs to claim the class win, their second of the season. Compton is now well and truly in this class battle and will be one to watch for championship honours.
This was a hard fight back. We were a couple of seconds, about 42 seconds behind after yesterday, and we slowly progressed today and started edging out a bit of time.
Andre Kleenberg and Des de Fortier overcame their fair share of problems in the BP Ultimate City Golf to claw their way back onto the Class A5 podium. Kleenberg's second place was also enough to maintain his class championship lead. Steve Mearns and Kieran Noonan were having one of their best ever outings in the multi-purpose cement Toyota Taz until Mearns had a slight off in stage 6, which cost him any chance of a higher placing. And what an inspiring drive from Etienne Lawrence and Alvin Coetzee in the Class N3 Ford Racing HRD Fiesta. Lawrence not only claimed his second consecutive win in this class, but demolished the Class N3 opposition to take the victory by almost 2 minutes. Besides winning the class, Lawrence also finished in 11th overall, and that ahead of all the other faster and more powerful two-wheel drive cars. This victory may not have been as sweet as the overall win he scored with Andre Vermeulen in a Class A7 car 4 years ago, but it was still very satisfactory.
Well, we've had 2 bad ones, so 2 good ones equals that out. It's great. We are very, very happy this time around. We did try hard. We had lots of problems yesterday with the thing going into limp mode, and but today no problems, and yeah, we pulled it through.
Rodney Versace extends his overall class lead with a fine second place and 12th overall in the Team Total Evolution Runix. And although not able to match the pace set by Lawrence, Versace was still happy with his result. The up-and-coming Etienne de Toy with Patrick Vermaak in the hot seat claimed the final Class N3 podium position in their Sassel Toyota Runix. The Capetanian is another driver who's on the way up in the world of rallying and proof of the great depth of rally drivers that we have in this country. Costa Komatarakis and Lo Zietsman missed out on the class podium by a mere 9 seconds. Rian and Hestri Erasmus once again proved that to finish first, you must first finish. And although the ABC Motors Toyota Corolla was the only car in Class N2, they still made it to the end in a respectable 18th overall. Back to the final stage and the production car battle between Wilken and Godrich and Latergan and Van der Merwe. Wilken was only 11 seconds behind Latergan's lead and the prospect of adding another victory to his tally of 3 this year, but came up short against a very